What is up everyone, Barricade here, bringing you guys another episode of Gears of War lore. Today we're going to be talking about issue number 8 of the Gears of War comic book. This one is actually about Jonathan Harper and his storyline during the events of Gears of War 2, a one-shot issue as well, similar to that of the tie issue. I know I covered this in another Gears of War lore episode a long time ago, but since I'm covering all the comics in this format, I don't really think you guys would mind me doing this. So we're going to go ahead and start here with simply Jonathan Harper is, talking about what pretty much happened at the end of Gears of War 1. He was where the Lightless bombing took place. He was, as he says, at ground zero, and he saw the huge explosions that the Lightless bomb did to the Hollow, and so much locusts were killed. And he just simply goes on to explain that due to this, he simply caught Rustlung. And the thing that's interesting here is we can see that in this part, we see that he was actually on the squad that had Michael Barrick. So that's pretty interesting. So we actually see Barrick back here in the comics, after what happened in the last few issues. It's really nice to see his character back. And now we see that they go on to talk about the fact that once he got sick and started dying from Rustlung, he was sitting there and trying to get analyzed by the doctors, and they kind of just gave him not a really straightforward answer. It's kind of messed up. They pretty much knew that he was dying, and they try to blame it on things like stress and things like that. One little interesting thing though that I want to point out is the fact that in this comic, he states that supposedly Barrick was the one that thought of the name Rustlung. But if we go back to issue number 5 of the comic, when Barrick is talking about the sickness, he actually states the fact that his friend Nash was the one that came up with the name. So that's actually kind of funny how they I'm not too sure if that was intentional, if like they were wondering, like the comic creators was, just trying to make a little bit of a trick there to see if anyone would catch it. I thought it was kind of cool how, we have Harper saying that he thinks Barrick was the one that thought of the name, but in reality it was their friend Nash. But anyways, after this we go to the next step, which is pretty much the plot line of Gears of War 2, where we see that all the soldiers are being sent to attack the Hollows. And they start drilling into the ground, sending them deep underground, and Harper is very stressed out, and the whole thing with the calm before the storm, he can't handle it, it's freaking him out. And they find a group of drones, and him and his fellow soldiers try to take them on, but they're just simply outnumbered, and a lot of them are killed, but a lot of them are also captured, taken, and tortured. And we see that they stuff Harper in one of those creepy coffin things that we saw that Maria was in Gears of War 2. But when he was about to be taken out and tortured by one of the drones, he simply snapped and beat the shit out of one of the freaking drones. Like, it literally stood no chance against him. He just, as he says, laid into him like I never had. One punch, one pissed off human fist in his face, and he was off balance. And he simply choked the drone to death and ran for his life. So it's kind of crazy how he was literally a person with no weapons, nothing to protect him. And when that drone came for him, something snapped in him like a wild animal, and he just went crazy on it. He escaped, and he just kept talking about how he really wanted to see the sky again. That was kind of like a little bit of a premise in this comic. He just kept saying how beautiful the sky was when they first sent him into the Hollow. It was almost like the world saying bye to him because it was so beautiful before he got sent into the ground. And then later on, after he escapes, he actually meets up with Jace, and him with another squad of Gears simply fight their way back to the surface. Then we see Harper simply talking about how he's happy that he saw the sky again today, that he never thought he would see it, and he was really happy that he escaped the Hollow, he survived it. But while they were fighting and getting people to safety, towards the end of Gears of War 2, he was fatally wounded while trying to help a little girl and her parents escape. And as he was laying there bleeding, there was no one there to help him, and he kind of had this weird bittersweet moment as he was slowly dying. He knew that no one was coming for him, but he was okay with it. He said that the sky was so bright and that he finally felt right, warm even, and all he could think about was the little girl and how she said she was going to pray for him and pray for everyone, and he simply just dies alone. So that is simply Jonathan Harper's story, and it's really sad to know that a young character like him, he had so much potential, and he was just dealt a bad hand. He was sick, and he was gonna die anyways from rust lung. And when he was captured by the Locust Horde, he had the strength and the courage to fight back even when it was completely hopeless. And his final deed was to save a young girl and her family, and the thought of her kept him warm as he slowly passed on. So that's really sad, and honestly I really do have respect for this character, and I kind of wish they expanded upon him. The thing that's actually really interesting, when they were making the ROM DLC for Gears of War 3, they actually stated that originally the main character was going to be Jonathan Harper, but they replaced him with Min because of the fact that he had a little bit more of a connection with ROM, so they felt like Min would be better because of that connection. So, but it kind of sucks that we never got to see Jonathan Harper. I really wish they had some type of DLC. Hell, they could even turn this issue of this comic book into a short, 2-mission DLC, and it would still be really awesome. But yeah, guys, that is simply the issue number 8 of the Gears of War comic books. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe and tell me what you guys think. I was really glad to bring you guys this content. I'm going to keep going on with the comic book series. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see any of my other content, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.